Welcome back. Nigeria is counting votes after the country's much-delayed presidential and parliamentary elections finally took place yesterday. It's too close to call who will be the next president of Africa's biggest economic power. The outcome hinges on which of the two main rival voters trust to sort out an economy still struggling to recover from the 2016 recession. Incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari has already congratulated himself, saying he's going to be the winner, as did his rival Atiku Abubakar, a former vice president who's pledged to boost the private sector. The voting process went off largely peaceful. Officials say the voting was extended in areas where polling centres opened late or ballot machines had failed. 2 attacks were reported in the northeast of the country, but police reported no casualties. In fact, we have more news on casualties. Our foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena, joins us in studio now. So 16 people, in fact,
yes,
now that
16,
it's been tallied.
According to the officials, 16 people have died. Some of them were killed during the sporadic clashes by ordinary citizens, unknown gunmen. Others during the clash with the police, particularly in areas where you have conflicts.
Does that make this a violent election? We were hoping for a
It is not really a violent election, but you know, in 2015 there were similar incidents. You know that Nigeria is still battling the problem of Boko Haram, and you know that President Muhammadu Buhari, he won elections in 2015 promising that he'll be able to deal with that problem, but it looks like he was not able to do that. But you know, normally in any country, sometimes you have tensions running high during elections. Some countries are able to ensure that there are no deaths, but in other countries, particularly a big country like Nigeria, it was expected that at some point in time or in some areas, you may have problems of security. So
sporadic violence, we would say. Does the voting process look credible thus far with the information we have?
Only the Electoral Commission can attest to that, but also the party agents who were there and who monitored and observed voting. Also the monitors or the different missions of observers who were in the country, they are the only ones who can really give us a clear indication whether elections were free and fair. But when you look at what transpired earlier on where elections were postponed, you can ask questions as to why, because the Electoral Commission in that country knew very well that in 2019 there is going to be election, and they were supposed to be prepared, but it looks like they had challenges. So let's wait and hear from the observers who were on the ground, but when I look at the process, there are issues that perhaps were not handled properly.
And the opposition apparently making claims already? Yes,
opposition already crying foul. This afternoon I received a letter that was written to the Electoral Commission in that country. The PDP, the opposition party, the candidate there, Atiku Abubakar, saying that the Electoral Commission must release elections as soon as possible, and now we are told that the Electoral Commission has promised that at 6 local time this evening PM they will start making an announcement in terms of where the process is. Only then the electoral center will be operational.
Do we have any idea when the full results are expected?
Some people are predicting that perhaps late mid-week we will get the final results, but we are expecting that the Electoral Commission before end of the day, or let's say before tomorrow, later tonight, they might give some indication as results are trickling in. And the APC, the current ruling party, has indicated that for PDP to call the Electoral Commission to release the results, this was in violation of the accord they signed before the election, because they agreed that only the Electoral Commission or the electoral body in that country will be able to make changes and announcements, not political parties.
So there are 2 parties at loggerheads. There are 2 leaders who've both declared themselves the victors. How precarious is this situation? So if you say tomorrow Muhammadu Buhari is declared the
very
victor,
dangerous.
How dangerous?
Africa, it looks like we don't learn. It's very dangerous. You can't declare yourself as a winner. Any normal and professional and diplomatic and a leader with integrity, when you are being asked your prediction, You just say, I hope my party will do well, but let's wait for the electoral body to make a pronouncement, and I will accept the outcome of the results. But if you say, no, I know I'm going to win, how do you know?
And let's end off with trust in the IEC, well, they're equivalent to our IEC, the electoral body, which, like you said, unprecedented to delay sort of at the 11th hour for a week. Remind us what that delay was all about, and if it looks justified. They indicated
that it was based on logistical problems, but some people are saying it's not true. It's not clear what were the reasons, because when you look at the reports from observers, they are not also clear in terms of what they were told, why there was that postponement 5 hours just before voting. Therefore, already you can see that people are likely to challenge the outcome of the results. But also, it was a huge inconvenience for ordinary Nigerians, people who live in countryside, who work in urban areas, who had to drive back home to go and vote, and now they can't do it for the second time, and that affected even the economy of that country.
All right, so all eyes on Nigeria. Thank you very much, Foreign Editor Sophie Mokoena. Following what will happen after that, 16 people, unfortunately, have been declared killed after those elections.